Okay, Jennifer Westacott, if I can go to you, the framing of this budget, it's going to be in a surplus. The number is said to be $4 billion, which is wafer thin. I mean, let's be honest, if you have got 3.5% unemployment rate, if you've got commodity prices booming, if you've got $1 at 66 US cents, if you can't produce a surplus, then you're never going to produce a surplus.
Yeah, look, the surplus is great, but it goes to your point. How's it getting produced? It's getting produced by commodity prices. It's getting produced by record low unemployment, more people working, more people paying tax. What I think we have to be cautious of is that we don't build in structural, permanent expenses off the back of temporary increases to revenue. And that's what we'll be looking for. What's the plan for growth? What's the plan to get that GDP number with a 2 or a 3 in front of it? Because without that, how do you sustain higher wages? How do you sustain revenues to government? How do you sustain better living standards? That's the conundrum. Obviously some of the cost of living stuff is really important and it's good and it's needed. But if we don't put our foot on the pedal of growth, how can we sustain that over the long term?
Okay, are some of your members spooked by the changes to the petroleum resource rent tax? Because many of your members, the top 100 companies in Australia, are also very big profit producers. Now, times are going to get tougher. The government's going to come chasing revenue. That's a pretty obvious place to look.
Sure, and look, the government looks like it's taken a middle road on the PRRT, but it's kind of the accumulation of things, Ross. It's the message it sends around investor certainty. At the time when we need the same companies driving the clean energy changes, investing, making huge investments. Now, obviously, they've exempted, from what we understand, new projects, so that's good. But it's all these things added together that make companies nervous about investing. So, it's not just the PRRT, it's the gas price capping, it's the IR changes. And people keep saying, what's next? And we need to turn around that perception that Australia is a riskier place to invest and do things because the Americans, through the Inflation Reduction Act, are eating our lunch. They're taking these big investments away. The Europeans are priming their economy. All those things are what we're competing against. And our companies, global-facing companies, that's what they're up against.